Hey guys, how's it going? Scott Devine here from scottsbasslessons.com. Hopefully everybody out there in the world of bassdom is doing awesome today. We're having a real cool time here at Scott's Bass Lessons, recording a ton of new lessons for the Academy. So keep a lookout if you're an Academy member. There's some cool stuff coming very, very soon. Whole new website redesign and all those shenanigans. Super excited about it. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking about how not to get lost when you're on the gig. And I don't mean, driving to the gig or driving back from the gig. I mean, like how not to get lost in the song. I'm going to be sharing I'm going to be sharing 5 tips on how not to get lost. And if you have been in a jam session or playing live at all, I absolutely know every single one of you listening to this will be like, there was that time that I got completely lost and I didn't know where the heck I was and I didn't know what to do. Well, these 5 tips that I'm going to be sharing with today, hopefully they'll give you some great get out clauses of how to get out the mud when you're stuck in it. Let's get into them. Okay, so tip number 1 is, and I know this sounds obvious, but it is know the melody. Know the melody of the tune and always keep it in mind when you're playing. So, and this is, it's easier if you know the words. If you know the words of a song, you kind of internally sing it along as you're playing it. But if you don't know the words, it is a little easier to get lost on the in the tune. Okay, so and this is especially useful when you're playing jazz tunes, when it can be there's choruses and choruses and choruses of solos, and you're like, oh, what's that bit again? If you've got these, the melody running internally inside you all the time, it'll really help tie you all together. So for instance, it could be something like Days of Wine and Roses, which is okay, so you want to know the days of wine and roses. You want to know the melody, and what really helps as well, as I said, is knowing the words to the melody and being able to play the melody. Again, being able to play the melody really helps. So not only knowing it, can you play the melody? Because that really, really helps. And not only does it help with that, like playing the melody helps so many other things when it comes to bass playing. Like all bass players should be playing melodies. Right? All bass players, it helps with your time. It helps with your understanding of chords and harmony. It understands with your dynamics. Everything. Okay? So your full musicianship will be your full musicianship. I don't know, I'm trying to do some sort of like hypnotic thing. These are not the droids you're looking for. Your full musicianship will be heightened if you start learning melodies, okay? Anything down from, anything. Your transcription. When I was a kid, I used to sit with my guitar in front of the TV. It used to drive my parents wild. And the adverts used to come on. I don't know, sort of, I'm trying to think of an advert. What advert could you think of Denmark? For some way, I was thinking Andrex, which is toilet tissue, and the puppies running through all the toilet tissue. Who knows what's going on in my mind? But anyway, I used to sit there on guitar. He's trying to think of an advert now. I would sit there on guitar just as trying to work out the melodies as they went by, or, just soap operas, anything. Just try and work out melodies. But anyway, back to how not to get lost. Learn the melody. Learn to play the melody. And if you can, learn the words as well, because it'll really, really help you not get lost. Okay, number 2 coming up. Okay, number 2 is start to memorize forms. Okay, and by forms, I mean the form of a song. Try to visualize it. Okay, so think intro, bridge, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, middle eight, 2-bar thing, whatever's going on, but really start to try and memorize them as part of your practice routine. Okay, so that's for sort of like rock and pop songs. And again, if it's jazz tunes, try and memorize, is it A, B, A, or is it A, B, C, A? That kind of thing. And if anybody's thinking, what the heck's he talking about? A lot of jazz standards, the A section will be called obviously the A section, then you've got the B section, then it maybe goes back to the A section, and then maybe there's a different bit for the C section. So maybe it's like if you hear somebody say it's an A, B, A, C form, it means you do the A section, then there's a B section, then you repeat the A section again, and then there's a different section, which in this case we could call C. Never burp on camera. It was a little burp. Never burp on camera. Or we could have like an A, B, A, B section. Okay, so A section, then B section, then an A section, and then a B section. Okay, something like that. So that's how you can start memorizing forms with jazz tunes. But with pop, rock, metal tunes and stuff like that, try and get used to memorizing the forms. Okay, it's like a practice thing. Just as you practice bass, I used to practice memorizing forms. It really, really helped me out. Number 3 is understand that we feel music in blocks of 4, 8, 16, and 32. Okay, and get really, really analytical about that. Okay, I'm just going to say that again. We feel music in blocks of 4, 8, 16, and 32, and 64. But what you want to do is really practice. How does that actually feel? To feel, 4 bars, feel 8 bars, feel 16 bars, feel 32 bars. You want to be practicing feeling those blocks, okay? So for instance, you could take a tune like So What. This is all D minor. And then it moves to E flat. Now that's a whole lot of. I know E flat's there. I'm not counting. I can absolutely feel the amount of bars. So how I used to practice this is listen to old recordings. What really helped me is actually like bebop recordings. Listen to old bebop recordings and just trying to feel, have it playing in the car and just in the background subliminally keep on thinking, okay, that's the top of the tune. And then just, and not be listening to it too intently. Oh, that's the top of the tune. Or, oh, there's the middle eight. And just concentrating on how that feels, how that bunch of time feels. How does it feel, that 32 bar section? How does that 64 bar section? Like 64 bars for me, I would break that down into smaller groupings, but I can absolutely feel 32 bars. I can solo over a 32 bar sequence, all one chord, and I'm not going to, I'm not going to add a bar or, come in early or anything like that. I can feel that. So that's a really great thing to have when it comes to not getting lost. So understand form is, forms are 4, 8, understand that we feel music in 4, 8, 16 and 32 and try and subliminally always being analysing that when you're listening to music. Oh, that's an 8 bar section. That's a 4 bar section. What was that riff? Oh, that was a 2 bar riff. Or maybe it's a 4 bar riff. Or maybe it's an 8 bar riff. It's something that you really probably haven't thought about before, but it's really, really worth it. Because at the end result of it is that you can play music all on one chord for a long period of time and you're not going to get lost. Number 4, and this is very actionable on the moment when you're on the bandstand and you're having that, that dire, oh my God, I'm lost. Don't know where anybody is. Oh, I'll look at the drummer and see, that moment of, rabbit in the headlights. Listen for turnarounds. Okay, listen for turnarounds because the turnaround will indicate a new section of the song or going back to the top. Okay, so a turnaround could be something like, you know, listen for that. You know, so, and then in those situations, you want to listen to that turnaround and then try and figure out where is it indicating where you're going. Are you going to the top of the tune, or is it just the top of like a part of the tune? You know, and top by, I mean the start of the tune, the top, okay? It's called the top. So listen out for those turnarounds, and also listen out for 5 chords, that movement of 5 to 1, 5, 1. You know, you'll hear it in anything, sort of like, 5, 1, okay, 5, 1. 5, 1. It's that real powerful movement, and that movement, that 5 to 1, will indicate to you, obviously it's moving back to a 1 chord. Where's the 1 chord? Is it at the top of the tune, or is it a new section within the piece that you're playing? So just look out for turnarounds and that 5 to 1 movement, and that always really helps me try and, you know, if I'm ever lost, try and figure out where I am within the tune. Number 5, lastly, is, I know it sounds obvious, but I see a ton of students falling down this area, is use eye contact. Make sure that you're looking around, because if you're lost, your immediate response, or a lot of people's response, is to kind of like retract, head down. I'm embarrassed, I don't know where I am, you know, oh. That's the wrong thing to do. The best thing is to look up and indicate to somebody that you're lost. You know, look around, you know, look at somebody, try and figure out who's the dominant player in the group, okay? Who's the music? Who's in that musical director, you know, role? Look for him or her. Look around. If you know who it is, you know, give them the nod. Say, I'm lost. You know, give me, and they'll give you hopefully the one. Here's the one, or here's the top of the tune. Okay, so don't shy away if you're lost. It's the worst thing ever to do. You need to be head up and look around and make it obvious to whoever needs to know that you're lost and you need, you know, an indication of where the top of the tune is. Where the top of the tune is, you know, just look around and look out for help. And that's what, you know, great players will be able to get you back on board really easily. They'll be able to cue you back. And there's a real skill in that. And just with you as well, and for you, this is a great, all of these things, but this one specifically is a great one that if you know the tune and you see somebody that's lost, okay, you know, be cool with them. Be cool with them. Tell them, you know, what you need to be able to tell them where the top of the tune is without actually speaking to them, you know, head nods, you know, here's the top. Or when I'm playing, for instance, if it was coming up to, I'm saying, is it at the top? We're going to the top. Okay, we're going to the top of the tune. So finger up like this, we're going to the top. And then give them the nod that it's happening, and it'll really help them out as well. So if you're lost, use these things to try and get out of the rough. But also, if you see other people that are struggling on the tune, you know, and they're lost, if it's on a jam session or something like that, help them out. Make sure that you use the finger that says, you know, at the top. Hopefully, they don't look up at the ceiling and look for any help on the roof. And if they do that, game over. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this lesson. I should say that we cover a lot of these cool sort of like chart reading things that is kind of based on when I was talking about understanding groupings of 4 and 8, 16 and 32, and understanding form. We cover a lot of that in the new course that we released just a couple of weeks ago in the Academy at Scots Bass Lessons. It's a full, I think it's like 90 minutes or 2 hours long or something like that. Full course on how to read, you know, charts, how to read lead sheets, and also how to write them. But, you know, what the actual chord symbols mean, how to arrange them so it's really easy to read, how to understand, you know, repeats, first time and second time bars, how to understand go back to the sign and things like that. You know, really, as a musician, it's one of these skills that you need to know. You need to be able to understand how to read charts. No, I'm not talking about reading music, because there is always this sort of like, oh, shall I learn to read music or not? Okay, now, yep, learning to read music is a great skill, but learning to read charts is an absolute must. It's not sort of like a should I. It's like, no, you need to. You need to learn to read charts. There's no sort of excuses. It'll save you so much trouble, and it'll make you understand, music in a much more logical way if you understand how to read charts. So other than that, guys, so if you want to check it out, click the link, 14-day free trial, all those shenanigans. Just go to Scott's Bass Lessons and check it out. Now, other than that, guys, if you are new to Scott's Bass Lessons, you should also check out the free Bass Players Toolkit. If you go to the website, it's in the top navigation. It's like Bassline Creation Guides, a 40-minute free guide on how to create bass lines. We've got a buyer's guide in there. We've got a backing track library in there. We've got a mini course on understanding the modes and how to practice them, the full 9 yards. So go check that out, all at scottsbasslessons.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel either. Now, other than that, I'm going to go and get back to recording more shenanigans. And other than that, take it easy, and I'll see you in the shed. Bye.